of the University of Lagos Business School. And it is the business school of our university, the University of Ulbs, and the nation's pride. Please have a round of applause. Thank you very much. This morning it's my pleasure to tell us that right now in the house we have the chairman of this gathering. And it's my pleasure to introduce to us the gentleman of our university, Professor Chancellor. Please give me a round of applause. The man with a vision, whose vision it was to have a business school attached to the University of Lagos, is also with us this morning. I have the pleasure to tell us that the professor will not only the entire of the FAS. And I'm going to also see that as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, my name is also here with us, Professor Ulbs. Please give me a round of applause. The Registrar of our university is also here. Please a round of applause. As this Morales is your best friend. It's a pleasure to have you. The director that planned all the academics of the University of Lagos, Professor Keynote, is also with us. Please give that round of applause. The Director of Quality Assurance and Silicon, Professor Ulbs, is in the house. Please give a round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the coordinator of all works and services is also here with us. Please give this my cameraman a round of applause. I'm also happy to say that this morning, for our University of Lagos Business School, one of our major sponsors is here with us. He's online. The degree says this is a hybrid situation. Some of us are here for a lot and joining us online. I'm glad to say that amongst those people who are giving their support to the University of Lagos Business School is Dr. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Academy of Medical Specialties of Nigeria, Professor Ulbs. When you see him, you will not be able to have a guess about his age. But this morning, I'm glad to say that I have in the house Chief Oshimene, Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the house, the man who decided that yes, we'll have the first international conference, but we will sponsor it. I'm glad to say that Dr. Peter, the CEO of Chemical Oil and Gas Limited, sponsored this man. Please let us recognize Mr. Chancellor is already in the house, and I told him as a speaker, always listen to him. And this topic, before I forget, that he will talk about succeeding in his instruction. He's reaching the alpha of the character. Please give me a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the ED of the University of Lagos Business School, Professor Thank you very much. And let me quickly say that we have a lot of other distinguished personalities in our midst who will continue recognition. But before I go on, today is a special keynote speaker. He's already with us. And like I say, who doesn't know him? Professor Art, who will talk. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'll pray your indulgence that at this time for the national anthem, followed by the University of Lagos anthem, this is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. much, ladies and gentlemen. For those who still desire to join us when we do the big great outcomes, one of the easy ways to do that is through the University of Lagos Business School. Just come and join us, and then you can join us to see very well. Thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to all those who have gone beyond the call of duty. The last couple of years has been indeed a big one in putting together the University of Lagos Business School. But I want to say that some people have actually walked beyond the call of duty. Please let's give them a round of applause. Some people also did put together today's conference. Please let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Let me call the Executive Director, University of Lagos Business School, for his opening remark, Professor Abraham A.H. Davis. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel. While I rest on the existing protocols already well established by Dr. Samuel, I'd like to quickly recognize, in no particular order, let me recognize my immediate boss, who gave me fees to appointed me executive director, and not just only that, granted me a second term. Let me recognize Professor Oluwatoyin Tayo FAS. And of course, other members of the management of our great university, other members of the management team are also actually joining online as we speak. But here among us, we have the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Management Services, Professor Elosi. Welcome, sir. And our Esquire brother, who is always doing his inaugural every time in the end of the night, and I've always also been the chairman of that ceremony. Mr. Oladejo Assis, the Rector of the and of course other members of I must recognize. This is very important to me that I recognize people like one of my sisters just said is valedictory in nature. So it's good for me to just do the name. Recognize as well because I know is joining online. Mr. Dr. Leon Lawam. I recognize him. I also recognize Professor Otiwa, the Director of Savicom, for the Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Mukwelola Olushake, the Director of Academic Planning, and I recognize now the Jagaban of the University of Lagos, the Chairman of the Open Ceremony, Professor Ayo Miera. And then the senior anatomist of Nigeria. I'm a senior anatomist. Like a senior anatomist of Nigeria. There are so many caps to him that I cannot be counting now. Professor Oladapo Ayodele. And of course our guest speaker, my brother, my born Professor Tutomi. Thank you for that. When it was very difficult for me to get Tutomi, I knew what I did. I just called the wife. When she saw my call, she said, you know what it was like. I've gotten a way to go around this thing now for having spent 20 years. And then she for you, I cannot forget to say you. It's amazing at your age. 85, 90 now, sir. When I went to Chief office showed me all the awards. I was the only man, one of the very few Nigerians that has had this is not a, per se, it is not a vote of thanks, but let me recognize where is Professor Konlawon, my boss, my trainer, the man who trained me. I'm going to come. I said, I know you are going to come. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize every member of the advisory board. I recognize every member of the academic board. And quickly let me go into, I'm going to give an brief version of my address, which is going to be available later. Early in 2018, indefatigable Vice Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Ogundegbe FAS, as part of his overall vision for UNILAG, decided to operationalize the commencement of a business school that was either approved by the University Senate in 2013 under the leadership of Professor Rahman Bello, who is also here today, that will command respect globally. This was flagged off by the setting up of the working committee headed by the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics and Research, Professor Wole Familoni. When the VC appointed me to become his pioneer executive director, I took time to meditate on it because it is not in my nature and desire to just occupy a position, as we say in medicine, to become a space-occupying lesion. I have to be able to make a difference. As I meditated here, I got approval to accept the opportunity to serve the University of Lagos in this capacity. This approval hit me in the form of a personal vision of excellence along the line of that vision of the University of Lagos and of the vision of the Vice Chancellor who has appointed me. Every single day since my appointment as the Executive Director of the University of Lagos Business School, my team and I have carried the vision that the University of Lagos Business School will be different positively, not only while I am the executive director, but even long after I have been succeeded. And this vision of excellence, I realize, must first and foremost be demonstrated in how we treat and interact with everything and everyone within and outside the University of Lagos Business School. Our culture impacts heavily on our nomenclature. For example, at the University of Lagos Business School, they are nothing like lecturers. They are nothing like teachers. All what we have at the University of Lagos Business School are simply facilitators, because they have come to serve as figure of authority in the classroom. They have not come to dish out information to the classroom. Again, as part of our culture, they are nothing like classrooms in our nomenclature. All what we have, they are not theaters, they are not lecture theaters. All what we have are meeting rooms. And at the University of Lagos Business School, there are no students. All of us are simply learners, we are participants. We see our processes as participatory in nature. We see all of us as learners participating in the process of creating excellence that University of Lagos Business School has been known for. Except that this time around, we are only advancing that sterling culture of excellence in the areas of business and other related fields. And by the special grace of God, we have done that beautifully well. Our culture and policy also reflect on our mode of interaction. We have the vision that our participants will be treated like VIPs, not because of the fees they pay. No, it is because that is just the right thing to do in an academic environment of this standard. Our school is a practical one. It is edged on the basis that almost over 60 to 70% of what we do will be practical in nature. For example, the vision of excellence that drives the operation of the University of Lagos Business School enables us to develop robust pedagogical method that enhances the educational experience of our participants by promoting lifelong learning, healthy respect for participants in discussion-like manner through the use of case-based learning systems. Ladies and gentlemen, several webinars and special seminar series on topical issues were held between 2018 and 2022. Solutions were provided to both local and international challenges. Some of the speakers of such seminars included even our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Akintoye Akindele, the CEO of Platform Capital, Mr. Bode also the former Director General and Advisor Budget Matters to the presidency. That was only the era of President Obasanjo. Also, some of our panelists included the VC of University of Nigeria, the Vice Chancellor of Ghana University in Legon, the Vice Chancellor of Covenant University, the Managing Director of Consultancy Services, Times Higher Education in London, the Pro-Chancellor of National University of that is Professor Peter Okebunkola, who was the former Executive Secretary of National University Commissioners as well. The Vice Chancellor of Bayero University we also hosted him in one of our webinars series. Also, the Advisor Education Commonwealth of Learning was also hosted as part of all the webinars I've had. We've also had special seminar series, and some of the speakers included His Excellency Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, Dr. Cosmas Maibu, the CEO of Osiris, Dr. Billy Awoshika, the Access Bank here, the Dr. Mama Eze OFR, the former DG of Bureau of Public Procurement, and also the former DG of the MASA was also hosted him. That was Dr. Peter Sage. Ladies and gentlemen, I must also let us know that we have had a couple of collaborations in terms of support from meaningful, well-meaning Nigerians, both within and outside the academia. For example, I seize this opportunity to recognize profusely, without any reservation, the contribution of my friend and my brother, Dr. Akintoye Akindele, who is represented by the board here. Mrs. Akindele, can you wave your hand? Is currently, Dr. Akindele is currently the only one at the platinum level of support to the University of Lagos business. I also see the opportunity to recognize Pinnacle. Pinnacle has also been Pinnacle Oil and Gas. The Executive Director of Pinnacle Finance is here, Mr. Sunday. Are you here now? Yeah, thank you, sir. We appreciate your support, and of course the support of New Cross as well. We appreciate you here. The CEO just left now; it's on its way to Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, when we started, we had just 25 participants for our MBA. And to the glory of Almighty God, as of today, we are having over 100 participants. Not only that, we have also started some other programs. For example, we now have an online mode of executive MBA, meaning that we can read all over the world, all over the globe. People can actually access the quality program that University of Lagos Business School is well noted for. Also, our DBA just commenced as well. Now we struggle so much because so many actually apply to get into our DBA program. We have to prune down to 20 to the manageable size. What we actually had was to prune down to 15 to 10, but unfortunately it wasn't possible because these were eminently qualified. Out of about over 45 people that actually applied for our DBA, and the DBA program is run effectively now. We've also started the MPH program. It's a good MPH program here, and to recognize you in particular because you have done very well. And then we also started the executive NIA program, that is the non-interest finance. We have also started that, we are also running well. But ladies and gentlemen, when we started our MBA, we promised, we advertised that our participants will resume on 6th of September, year 2019. And we promised as well
before they commence the program, that we are going to deliver again. We are going to have your graduation in September, year 2021. And to the glory of the Almighty God, irrespective of COVID, irrespective of lockdown, irrespective of industrial action, our participants finish on record time September 29. And through the immense effort of members of the academic board of the University of Lagos Business School, and in particular, I must recognize all the efforts put in by the university management, led by Professor Oluwatoyin in ensuring that these participants graduated in record time. And sir, we appreciate you for that. We cannot thank you for the love of that. Ladies and gentlemen, as I round up, we have had 2 major international recognitions. We are now a member of our Association of African Business Group based in South Africa. We are also a member of the Business Graduate Association, based in London. As at the last time I checked, University of Lagos Business School is the only business school in Nigeria to have that membership. I know Professor Patrick is hearing me. I know he's hearing me. By the way, when some saw that I invited my brother, Professor Patrick, told me, said, "Why you invited somebody who is coming from Lagos Business School?" I said, "My husband has invited me so many times to his place too, to do a lot of things together too. So we are not afraid of. We see ourselves as collaborators. We are not competitors." So ladies and gentlemen, once again, sir, let me now do some appreciation. Vice Chancellor, sir, I cannot thank you enough for bringing a medical doctor, an anatomist, to the business school. You never gave me the reason until when eventually I brought, I remember, and I can never forget that day. I brought Daily Momodu. It was that day you eventually told me the reason you appointed me, which I'm not going to disclose now. And you also told me all your position that you also had off record. Why you have appointed a medical doctor, an anatomist, to somehow head the business school. But like you said that day, well, the evidence you have not. I'm sure you have not done anything wrong now. So ladies and gentlemen, I also thank Professor Rahman Bello, the visionary, who saw the vision. We said, look, there should be a business school, University of Lagos. Sir, I'm happy that you are. I'm always a very lucky human being. I remember, sir, you will remember, sir, I'm probably the only inaugural lecturer who had the opportunity of having an incoming Vice Chancellor and a sitting Vice Chancellor. That was November 8th, year 2017. So again, I'm having, when I said categorically that the word is chronobiology. Chronobiology in medicine and anatomy means that everything changes with time. A time to come, a time to go. A time to be born, a time to exist. Okay? That is, the word is ephemeral in nature. So we are transient. And that's exactly what has happened. So again, I thank you so much, sir, for the vision that you have seen. I also thank the chairman of the opening ceremony, our keynote speakers. I must recognize all our speakers. They've done very well. We are having 8 speakers for virtually tomorrow. I invite all of you. We are going to have solutions to Nigerians' issues. And I am particularly impressed as well by the crop of teachers, of lecturers that will be here today. And I thank our advisory board members. Raise up your hand again, advisory board members. I thank you so much. Chief Oshuke, you are still advising us, remember? They've done very wonderfully well. I cannot appreciate you enough. Okay? And then, yes, Dr. Deria Oshika is not here. St. John. Academic board members, can you raise up your hand? We have given tremendous support to the University of Lagos. Academic, raise up your hand for recognition. Yes, yes. Okay, Professor Lawal, I can see you now. Dr. Adesal, yes. Professor Shaibu, thank you so much. Our facilitators, a lot of our visitors here, and coordinators, directors, yes. My law, thank you so much. Where is Dr. Ferry, the director of DBA program? Thank you, God bless you. Dr. Rahim, yes, our assistant coordinator, and the members of the Research Grant and Publications Unit. You have done wonder. Let's stand up for recognition. This is the powerhouse of the University of Lagos Business School. You know, one thing, thank you. One thing I'm grateful for University of Lagos Business School. God has put good people around me. So if there's any success we have recorded, it's not the executive director, it's just the people that are doing the driving. I'm just only sitting on the driver's seat. That is all I'm doing. The engine room is coming from people like members of the conference organizing committee led by the editor-in-chief, where are you? And the managing editor-in-chief, Professor Suleiman, managing editor of our journal, Professor Shaibu, yes, Ajagbe Josro Lamborghini, yes. Then our participants, our participants at all levels, stand up for recognition. Stand up for recognition. You know what I told you? I said, you have no say in the University of Lagos Business School. I am not an alumnus of University of Lagos Business School. And I'm only an alumnus of University of Lagos. So you have greater say than me in this place. So the school is yours. The ball is in your court. So you must pass it very well, accurately, and by God's grace, God will help you. Thank you. Then the administrative staff. At the University of Lagos Business School, we have a template where the academics and the non-academics work effectively to move a unit forward. I cannot pray for a better administrative staff. I cannot. Where are you? Led by Pastor Adefara. Where are you there? Yes. Round of recognition. These people have worked over and beyond the call of duty. When I call them, as at 3 a.m., I was still sending messages to Pastor, and he answers immediately. Just the same thing like, Doctor, you are part of the administration. You are part of it. Yes. I mean, I'm sure there was a time your wife was wondering, who is this man sending tests at 3 a.m.? Doesn't he sleep? Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So, thank you. Of course, I must thank my beautiful wife who have given me all the encouragement. When I was telling her, you now know the reason. I told us at the last time that, look, you now know the reason why my son was getting married in London. I could not attend. I had to attend. Why my daughter was having cesarean section, I wasn't here. And I was wondering what my father is a medical doctor. What is he doing that? But she now knows the reason why. But thank God everything went to the glory of God. In conclusion, all these feats are hinged on the vision of excellence, transparency, and reputation of all inclusiveness of the 6-dimensional UNILAC agenda 2017 to 2022 set by the 12th Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor F.A. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in preparing for a career in business and related fields, and you wish an outstanding education in an excellent environment, ambience, second to none, you have found it. I welcome you to a school where business leaders are fashioned, incubated, modeled, and made. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. At least I can hazard a guess why the Vice Chancellor chose an anatomist to head the business school. He saw a beautiful sales rep in The Anatomist. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this morning I have the joy and pleasure to say that in our midst is the immediate past Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor Rahman Adebele. You're welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Distinguished, thank you very much. Now we would hear from our chief host, his welcome address. Please join me at this podium. Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Godigbe, FAS, Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos.
Please, let's be seated, please. I want to return glory to the Almighty God. Well, many of us have been recognized. I want to thank Professor A 3 square, A to power 3, Oshinobi, for the wonderful work. I want to thank my sister and his wife for the support that she's been giving. I want to recognize my boss, the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Rahman Adisa Adekombi Bello. Professor Ogunye, our mentor, you are recognized. Let me especially thank Chief Oshuke for the support. Anytime they have the meeting, I'll just ask, was Professor Oshuke there? Once they say that he's there, I have peace. Like I said, we have all been recognized, but you will see an activity going on at Shufulwe Park. How many of you have seen the beautiful work going on there, especially the Shufulwe Park, especially at night? Those people are night crawlers. It's been sponsored by Alpha Morgan, and the CEO of Alpha Morgan is Pastor Ade Brimo, who is here. And I want to commit him. Why is this time? You know, I'll get the best people. You promise to do something again. No, that Faculty of Arts, a language lab. No problem. Thank you very much. Well, I am excited, and I want to say that I am excited, and I know that Professor Bello is fulfilled. Because when this issue of business school started, I was a member of management, and I know all that went on from behind, from the side, and the front. And one thing that I have is because I'm born in Lagos, I know how to take risk, and I take it boldly and support myself with evidences. I want to say that Professor Shinobi has done excellently well. Excellently well. We have Professor Adebamawa online too. He's in the US. He's online. I tell people, and I'm sure Professor Patutomi will support this. Heading business school does not mean you must be from the Faculty of Business Administration. It's just that you must be a leader. You must be a mentor. You must have vision. And you must be able to lead rightly. And like you rightly said, when my colleagues in the Faculty of Business Admin, with respect, now Management Sciences, said, the executive director must come from the faculty. I told them, I said, well, me, I did MBA in this same faculty. So I'm supposed to lead too. And I was able to convince them, and I want to thank every one of them in the Faculty of Management Sciences for the support they have given concerning the school. And I appreciate the present dean and the past dean for all that they have done to make sure that the school is standing. It's about being citadel of excellence. And I've said it that Lagos Business School took our place to take our rightful place. Because by the time we move to the building that CBN is constructing for us, that's the permanent site of the Unilag Business School, and with the 3-star guest houses that we are going to have there, and with the location, because I know the school cannot move to Pangrove, they are closer to Ogun State. And their customers will come from mainland. And those who are living at Lekki want to know what is going on the mainland. So they will come to us. I want to appreciate the support of Professor Patutomi, not because his wife is with us, but for his love for University of Lagos. It's about being citadel of excellence, like I said before. That's University of Lagos. And that's why we pride ourselves as the university of first choice and the nation's pride. I'm excited because we have brought this program out of Akoka into a nice place like this to showcase this program. And through this platform, I'm sure that the program is well marketed. Despite the fact that we have strike, despite the fact that there are other things that will have made the program not to be run smoothly. With their virtual lectures, they are able to to interact with the participant and even do their exam online, and which I want to commend Professor Oshinubi and his team for bringing to fore and to making sure that the student graduate or the participant graduated at the right time of 2 years. With that, we have many people showing interest to come and do the MBA program. And that was the reason why Senate decided to approve even the online MBA program, which they have started, and the DBA program, which they have also started. Professor Shinobi is a man with a big vision. And anytime he's harassing me with the big vision, I just smile. I say, well, since I have the tutelage under my former boss, I have a giant vision. And you are just keen into the big vision that we have concerning University of Lagos. So I want to say, welcome to every one of us. I want to appreciate the people that are going to give the talk. Lagos Unilag Business School definitely is the only business school in Nigeria that is connected to this international platform. And we are going to have the program in such a way that some of our students or participants can have this maybe 1 year in Nigeria and 1 year in the US or in UK, depending on the university we are going to collaborate with or we are discussing with that space for now. Once again, I want to say congratulations to every one of us. I want to appreciate particularly my dear friend, my brother, Dr. Akintoye Akindele, who is somewhere now outside this country, and his wife. I'm happy that his wife is here, my dear sister, Mrs. Akindele. He did not finish from Unilag. He finished from IFE. And I want to appreciate him for the way he has shown interest concerning this business school. If you go to the, initially he said, where is the lecture room? Where are we using for lectures? They said, they showed him one. No. I cannot give any lecture in this room. That was why he was able to get fund for us to to turn around the HRDC building with over 200 million naira. Turn around that place. And it is such that when they are giving their lectures there now, you can receive lecture anywhere in the world because of the facility that he brought in. I also want to acknowledge that he has really supported me. If you look at the Natural History Museum, I remember the day I got to that place, I look at the place, I just said, this place is dark. There is darkness here, because it's only money that can turn this place.
To be able to stand here today and say some words about this very important subject matter. But I can imagine a little bit about my relationship and friendship with the University of Lagos, above and beyond the fact that my wife is on the faculty. I don't think grad school at Indiana, I was a descent of University of Lagos faculty around that time. Two of the lecturers from political science who I became quite close to, Professor Sadele Jinodu and Remi Anifuoshi, had come on sabbatical. C.S. Momo was finishing his PhD, was in grad school there, and Joe Moore from economics. That's why if you look and see the relationships I have with economics and political science and all, they all started from Indiana. And so when he arrived, they were struggling for whose department I would go to. That's how I ended up not being on the faculty of University of Lagos. Because while they were quarreling about which one I should go to, I escaped. So I have enjoyed this relationship, and I'm very, very proud of the work that is being done there. So the subject that I have been asked to speak to, or suggested as a theme, and from which I have taken this subject, I think is one that we should all be very excited about for a variety of reasons. Our country is challenged, as we all know. We know that in the last couple of years, there have been emblems raised around the underachievement of our country, understandably. In 2018, we had, of course, that unfortunate outcome of the study by the Brookings Institution that found that in spite of the fact that India has probably 7 times as many people as Nigeria, we had overtaken them in the number of the absolute poor in the world, which gave us this awkward sobriquet of being the poverty capital of the world. We also know that in that same year, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation actually published another report that suggests that between us and Congo DRC, in the next 10 years, we will produce 40% of the most miserable people on the planet, the poorest people in the world. But you know, I am one of those who believe that dry bones can rise and walk. I have many examples that I like to use to, sensitize people to the possibilities. When I started as a grad student, from someone back in the late 70s in the US, Latin America was my interest. And I was anxious looking at all the work that we've done in Latin America with modernization, economic development. Very hopeful. But things just kept looking quite bad. I told many times. In 1979, at a conference in New York, at the time in international political economy, a dominant thesis, the thesis of structural dependence, where third world countries, Latin American countries, were structurally dependent on the industrialized economies of the North, and how to break out of it and bring development. And in school of thought, I was generally known as dependency theory. In Latin America, they call it dependistas. And so I ran into the godfather of the dependistas. Well, at that time, the Economic Commission of Latin America. And after his remarks, I got up. I said to him, you know, Professor Cardoso, I like the elegance of dependency here. The problem is I don't see any redemptive value in this thesis. And he very nicely parlayed the question. About 30 years later, some of you may have been there, this same man had gone from being this renegade on exile, because he was on exile really at ECLA, away from his native Brazil, had returned home, served as foreign minister, served as finance minister, and become president of the country. And he came to give the Anyam Oshigwe lecture here at the NIIA. And I asked him if he remembered my encounter with him in 1979. He kind of laughed and told a remarkable story. I don't have the time in this presentation to tell that story, but those who may have been there will remember the story. Now, Professor Cardoso returned to Brazil when things were so bad, really. He became foreign minister. He was going to give a speech at the UN. And when he arrived there, he got a call from the president. He says to him, Professor Cardoso, how would you like to be finance minister? Cardoso, what a question to ask somebody. What will make it happen for us is enterprise. You know, we often insult young people in Nigeria. You know, they're lazy, they're this, they're that. This economy will be nothing right now without our young people. If you look at what they are doing in the tech space, this year, estimating that about $4 billion will enter Africa's tech space. And more than 60% of it will come to Nigeria, to these young people. I enjoyed myself. Yesterday, I was talking to a group of people, and I said to these apparently enlightened people, senior managers of some organization, public sector organization, that what's Nigeria's biggest financial services organization? The First Bank, UBA. And when I finished, I said, Uludoni, all of you. I said, one small company started by a group of young people less than 5 years ago, Flutterwave, has a bigger value than all these banks that you have mentioned. And this is really what is happening to that. These disruptions will be big, and that will define the future. Let's just move on quickly. So, in my work, trying to look at the performance of countries, of companies, and all of this, I've had to try to develop a number of frameworks. Now, during the year that I spent at the Harvard Business School in 96, 97, I was writing this book, Managing Uncertainty, Competition and Strategy in Emerging Economies. So my framework there was essentially a micro framework looking at competition. But I figured that we needed to look at a macro framework for how companies compete in this kind of general environment. What makes for growth? And I then wrote a book years later that was titled Why Nations Are Poor. And this is the guiding framework of this. These interdependent variables are critical for any progress to take place. Policy choices. What are the kind of policy? Are you a dirigist state where control of everything is government? When I tell the stories, people sometimes think, young people, MBA students, think I must be from another planet. When I tell the stories of what we actually did. When I first went to work in industry, the reason I can't remember the license plate of any car I drive is I don't look at it. Because I used to get a car every 2 weeks. Why did I get a brand new car every 2 weeks? It's not because of love, because we needed to generate used cars. Government policy, how many of you remember PPIB? Productivities, Prices and Incomes Board. The price control agency, they fixed your price. They could fix the price for a brand new thing that you're selling. But they can't fix the price for used thing. Huh? Now, policies were so absurd that, okay, Santana, 3,000 naira. We bring a used Santana, auction it outside of our gates, and a man on his own bids 9,000 naira for what a brand new price is 3,000 naira. Because those kinds of dirigist policies were not, anyway, so the policy choices you make can determine whether you make progress as an economy. Very critical. Economic historians have now helped everybody come to some terms that central to human progress is the role of institutions. If your institutions are weak, and I just give an example of regulatory challenges in Nigeria, one of the biggest problems to development in Nigeria is weak institutions. Even when you get the right policies and you make a little progress, a weak institution pushes back and you can't sustain progress. Of course, human capital is critical. Always I say, if government has only two things that it must do, it has to choose only two things: education, healthcare. If people are educated and they are well, they will produce. They will create. Everything else will fall into place. So, especially if government leaves them alone. Entrepreneurship, the whole business of creative destruction. The Schumpeterian ethic, as I like to call it. One of the remarks I make, and I'm skipping it over because of time, comes from the work of two University of Chicago Graduate School of Business professors, one of who then went on from, he's back there now, I think, to become chief economist of the IMF and then governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Raghuram Rajan. Rajan and Luigi Zingales wrote many years ago a book that's titled Saving Capitalism from the Capitalists. The biggest dangers to capitalist progress are today's successful capitalists. The business of business is to destroy today's successful ones by producing something superior to what they produce. Now, I hate to give my friend Aliko Dangote as an example all the time because he might think I have something against him, but it's not personal. You see, man used to write with feather, then moved to some kind of pen, and then suddenly there was a typewriter. Bah, 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 boom, boom. Everywhere also, all that. But it was huge progress. You make mistake, what do you do? Tipex. And then suddenly you have the laptop and the thing can go, it corrects itself. Some people thought it was bad. White man. This thing is correcting itself. Oh. That leap from that typewriter to that laptop. Do you know the tycoons that came out of the typewriter production business? The Remingtons, all those names. And they're the ones who are powerful enough to have lunch with the prime minister, with the governor, and all of that. They'll tell them, there's something dangerous in that thing they're developing. In fact, the young man who's developing that thing will not even get access to a bank to be able to make that laptop come alive. So the business of breaking through that, which is really the main subject of the work that Rajan and Zingales did in the book Saving Capitalism from the Capitalists. So one of the countries in the world where it's easiest for that young man with that idea to have access to that finance is a place like the United States of America. Because there are funds to facilitate this. I mean, think of something like a vulture fund. A vulture fund is a fund for people who are looking for businesses that are dying to revive. You can go to a fund like that. And again, I wish I had time. I've told one particular story of one of such. Maybe it's a nice story to tell. I mean, this kid comes out of Wharton and he's going around looking for a business. First of all, you can go to a search fund. The search fund will give you money with no particular idea, just because you are smart. Maybe you're an MBA out of Wharton or Kellogg or Harvard or something. And you can collect $100,000 just to go and look for a business. You don't need any collateral, because if you can get an MBA from that kind of place, you'll be stupid to go and collect your $100,000 and blow. You ruin yours, you know. So that trust gives you $100,000 access. Then you search for this thing, and then you find a business. This particular guy found a mom and pop operation that was making candles. Hey, candles? Who still uses candle for illumination in this world? He said, this business is dead, except when the hurricane comes through and you need the candle for a day or two. Why are you making, okay, a few churches may need them, and they don't have Aladura churches there, so what do we do with candles? Well, we inherited this business from our parents, so we're just managing it until we go. Guy has a great idea, goes and writes a business plan. Says he can buy that factory, but he will not be in the illumination business. He's going to go into the mood business. Fund, which has a collection of doctors who make $300,000-$400,000 a year, and one can risk $5,000. And he says, oh, this is the business plan from this young man. Okay. Each of them puts up $25,000. Guy gets a couple of $1 million, pays the couple, and they are very happy. They move to Florida, buy a condo, and begin to sail the world to enjoy that. What I'm hoping I can do, but I'm too poor to do. Unfortunately, that's what I've grown old enough to be able to do. So, he takes this factory, he then makes the same candle, but just looks nicer, smells nicer. Women lose all rationality. All they think of is that evening with their husband. So the candle that is 29 cents is now $9.99 because it's called a Valentine mood pack. And he has convinced supermarkets to put it at point of sale. They will get 50% markup. Yeah, 50%! Bring as many as... A $2-3 billion company becomes a $1-something billion company within a couple of years. Those doctors that put up $25,000 each have made millions. Culture. Because values shape human progress. I tell you that our country is currently sprawling on the floor where it is because we have had a colloquium that took place at Harvard. During the time I was hanging around there, that was based on a famous remark by a former Harvard professor who became a politician, Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Moynihan, who served in both Nixon and Johnson administrations and then became senator from New York, was actually replaced in the Senate by Hillary Rodham Clinton. Known as the two truths. The two truths. And it goes like this. The central conservative truth, because the question was asked was, what's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat? The central conservative truth, which is what a Republican is his mantra, is that it is culture and not politics that is responsible for the progress of a society. But the central liberal truth, which is what Democrats are and believe in, is that politics can change a culture and save it from itself. But central to all progress are your values. Democrats believe that you can engineer culture. Republicans believe that you just stick to things like the work ethic and be structured to lead to progress. The most important thing that saved America. In their 20s and their 30s, the Bill Gates of this world rose on the ashes of a failing American economy and renewed America. Let's just go on. That is what I believe will happen here. The young of this country will renew this country. I was going to tell a story. I was going to then move to the infrastructure space and think of disruption and creativity. I tell people, after I switched off Latin America in the 70s, I switched to Southeast Asia. And so most of my later years I spent traveling frequently in Southeast Asia. The Philippines used to be called the sick man of Asia. And I remember arriving Manila in October, I think it was October 1989. Yeah. 1998. The Asian financial crisis was 1997. 1998, I was going to Japan, spent some time in Manila, and I was wondering what was happening. There was construction going on everywhere. You could go deaf on the streets of Manila because everybody was there, and all of that. And what will happen, actually, they had a president who was fired, literally, Estrada, you know, the actor, while I was there during this period. But the point that it began to prove, because every time we talk about our problems, we talk about infrastructure, we can't find, we can't, you know, don't have enough resources to invest in infrastructure, we need to open up the economy. Most infrastructure into this world is private financed infrastructure. And the Philippines and Co, without financing of their own, began to show the example of it. But my favorite place, of course, is Australia. Most of the public infrastructure in Australia was private. The railroads were built by the mining companies to open the place up and all of that. I remember one trip to Australia. I spent some time with the infrastructure minister in Canberra talking about the Australian strategy. I went to Melbourne, where they had the G20 infrastructure hub. They talked about how they had come to try to talk to our infrastructure commission. People were not serious, paying any attention. There's no way the budget of Nigeria can finance any infrastructure that will get us anywhere. That is the truth of the matter. We don't have the resources to finance infrastructure as we need. But how privately? I think one of the most brilliant ways that, let's move on from here, that we then discover, and this is very interesting, the man who has used the word disruption the most, unfortunately we lost him about 2 years ago, was a Harvard professor who essentially talks so much about disruption in you know, innovation and all of that. His name is Clayton Christensen. Now, Clayton Christensen, incidentally, with one of his former Nigerian students and another, has written a lovely book titled The Prosperity Paradox. And part of the point that he makes, and he uses our own local example, even with the telco space, to show that what we need to do is create markets. If we create markets, the fact of markets will drive private infrastructure to support the growth of those organizations. If you see when the GSM business started in Nigeria, if you remember, everybody said, how many Nigerians will buy? Which of the world's big telecommunication companies participated in our GSM Oxfam? None. Took some Zimbabwean guy, right? And then one small South African company called MTN, then it has become big from Nigeria. And they came in. How many of their feasibility studies suggested they could do 500,000 lines in the next 3 years? Within a few weeks, they had exceeded their entire feasibility. And they were now scrambling to find money everywhere, set up cell sites. They became diesel companies, just supplying diesel to generators on cell sites. But they fixed an infrastructure problem. And Nigeria got there. Any big companies realized what happened, they started trying to come in, but it was too late. And that's what venturing is about. It's a horse race. You go out first, you shut the door behind you. And anyway, I can talk too much, so I better stop. The point about this is that the possibilities of our prosperity are before us, and the future is smart. We've got to apply technology in a way that energizes all production. And I say all production. Our focus must be on production and to use technology to essentially give boost to production. And our young people are ready and they are good. Let's just invest in them. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we can do better for the keynote speaker. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. At this point, permit me to call on the ED to please come.
boss of my boss. Because I have so many bosses here now. Professor Raman Belusa. To present this to our speaker,
Professor Patonisa.
You have talked now. On behalf of the University of Lagos Business School, I've been asked to make this special presentation to you because it says specially presented to Professor Patrick Okedinachi Utomi as keynote speaker at the ULBS Mid International Conference. We have added the tone to what the conference is all about and set the pace, and everybody is happy with your delivery. And so this was preempted, but they didn't know what you're going to say. But having heard you, I know I want to really be part of this and say that on their behalf, I'd like to present it to you.
Thank you very much, sir. We move quickly to the journal presentation. Permit me to call on the Managing Director, Lagos Management and Business Review, the man who is in charge of the journal of ULBS, Professor Abdul Hamid Sulaiman. Please give me a round of applause. He will give us a brief highlights from the journal.
Thank you very much. Two things have been learned by me today. At least two things. And I'm going to practicalize those two things here. And you all bear my witness. Please. Daddy, the other time there was somebody, you said young man. Young man. I believe I'm a young boy. By that I'm only 56, sir. And the keynote speaker spoke about the future being in the hands of the young. The other thing is about protocol. You know, when people want to learn things, look at hairstyles. People learn hairstyles when you watch footballs. Look at those football players. After every UEFA, whatever, you see new hairstyles and people will start. So one thing that has been established today now is rather than just stand on the system protocol, please work on the system protocol, sit on it, and the rest of it. So I hereby stand, sit, and work on the system protocol. Thank you. So the Lagos Business and Management Review came about not quite many years ago, but today a reality has come. We have it, live, with us here. And the energy put in getting it ready for today can only be imagined. The people behind it, whenever we're at meetings, you will see our boss, who has two bosses here too, sitting with us, at meetings. Professor Shinobi sitting with us at meetings. We walk through day and night to ensure that this, conference and what we are presenting today will also come, to place. The journal shall run on quarterly basis. It is the Lagos Business and Management Review, a peer-reviewed journal promoting academic research for evidence-based business solutions and policy decisions. It is a multidisciplinary, broadly focused and accept original scholarly research contributions from any business-related field of research. We are open to, and indeed encourages, a wide range of topical issues ranging from new frontier in methodology, theoretical approaches to sustainable problem areas, with substantive problem areas within the domain of business and organizational management. It is devoted to the improvement and further development of theories of business, organizational and management, as well as being designed to appeal to academics, practicing managers, and policy workers. Those behind the scene in getting it ready. I earlier mentioned our boss, Professor Shunobi. We have the editor-in-chief of the journal, Professor Olufemi Saibu, who most times we want to run away. He's the chairman of the committee. In fact, the chairman of this LOC, who most times we want to say, I'm busy, I'm doing it. Professor Suleiman, act for me. Unfortunately, he didn't release the official card as the chairman of the... So we have him there, who has worked so hard to ensure we have something to present today. I'm the foreman. Me, I am the foreman. That's the manager. Foreman is about one man doing the work of I think you know that. So we have many associate editors. Dr. Ifere is one of them. Dr. Tolu Olufunlayo is one of them. Dr. Taiwo Ojo, Dr. Leke Medube, Dr. Mary Akiyemi, Dr. Olufemi Aladejobi, Dr. Wura Ola Abiola, Dr. Wawatunde Adeoye, and Dr. Eyi Badejo. Of course, we have so many editorial consultants, cutting across, the globe, from France, from UK, USA, and indeed, University of Lagos. That is the Lagos Business and Management Review. This is where I'm going to stop, hoping that the MC, my sister, will come up and continue, from where I'm stopping. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. After you have sat, stood, and stopped on the protocols. All right, I'll continue. To continue, I have the pleasure to call on the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Management Services, Professor Chukwu, to please be upstanding and kindly move near the well-decorated table there, because that's where the journal is for the unveiling. Please be joined also by the ED. I will come with the microphone so that you can speak.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, the Chairman of today's event, the Jagaban of Akoka and Unilag, the keynote speaker, the former VC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, having listened to the keynote speaker with such brilliant exposition, which she has done here today, I don't think we still have time to begin to pontificate again on any matter. So here
We are here for the business of unveiling the University of Lagos Business and Management Review. This is our own Harvard Business Review. I hope and believe that we will live up to those charges and challenges that the keynote speaker has proposed here today. Editor-in-Chief, this is not the journal to begin to propagate all the highfalutin ideas. This is the journal that will produce solutions, reviews, discussions on all these innovation, entrepreneurship, disruptive technologies in disruptive times, such as the ones we have now, to even find ways and means of analyzing all the presidential aspirants and presenting those that can focus as presidential candidates. We want to see the Ajagwejo and not a Lamborghini. We want to see the indigenous case studies. We want to see the analysis of what makes our computer village to thrive. What happens in Balogu market? What you call selling with and with, and with and without. Those are the kind of things we want to see in this business review. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the area of men and resources we have in the business school, supported by an able advisory body and board, don't you think we can make it? The future is here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to enjoy this singular privilege that I have to request the Jagaban of our caucus to come forward and lead the members of the table to come over here. For two reasons, sir. We've been sitting for the past 2.5 hours. Sir, I will request that the Vice Chancellor, the keynote speaker, Chief Oshunkeye, the former VC, the erudite anatomist, Mrs. Akindele, please come forward to join us. Let me enjoy this privilege today. So when you say that the elders and the kings, when they send a young man on an errand, he can go with a lot of confidence, knowing from where he's deriving his powers from. Okay. We call this tape "To the Glory of God," to the service of mankind, to the birth of a new Nigeria. Amen. to a University of Lagos Business School that is there to raise global leaders across board. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together and welcome the Lagos Business and Management Review, a publication of the University of Lagos Business. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We can do better. Please let's give them another round of applause. Maybe we do not know. Today, history has been made. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for being part of history. Thank you very much. We are coming to the end of the opening ceremony. We will break out now and go for lunch, but before then, we will be kind enough to allow the ED to thank us, and thereafter, we will take pictures, table by table, with the people sitting on table 1. So we'll just do that quickly before we break out for lunch. ED, sir, it's your turn to thank us. Please give him a round of applause. He's done well.
Thank you, Choroke Samuel. Ìyá ìyàwó. You don't want me to. You don't want me to announce. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, my appreciation and vote of thanks, they are very simple. And in no particular order, but let me first of all thank God the Almighty for giving all of us the grace and the opportunity and the privilege to be here and to serve the University of Lagos as a whole. So, that said and done, I'd like to thank once again my immediate boss, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Ogundepe. And each time I say this, sir, I don't know whether you remember, sir, there was a time I was in your office. I said something that you did. I said, thank you. You said, don't thank me. I should be thanking you for doing my job, and I love that. Sir, I also remember at the time that something I've been waiting to tell you that also spurred us into action. I remember about a month you appointed me as the executive director. I had the privilege of having the VC ride in my car. So, and then I said, okay, what about this thing? I said, you know, the VC said, I thought you have already doing that. So, you know, I was actually testing ground to say, is he going to be micromanaging me? So when I saw that he's not going to micromanage me, I went ballistic. And it's unfortunate that, well, Professor Babajide Alo is not here today, who has also given a lot of direction and advice for us. So, Vice Chancellor, sir, I thank you so much. And the management team, I thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity that you are giving the University of Lagos Business School. And then the support is unsurpassed, unprecedented. I thank you so much. And like I always say, I call her Auntie Mokwe. Thank you so much. Wave your hand, wave your hand. I need to thank you because you are the DAP. It's your work. Because yes, through we report to you and then to the DVC, Academics and Research. So it's really your work. And then, of course, my other sister that is beside you, the Director of Quality Assurance. I thank you so much for giving us the quality. And, of course, other members of the management team, I also recognize the Director of Works. I recognize my DVC, my brother, who is also giving me all the encouragement as many times as possible. Professor Shuku, the only LOC. Thank you, sir. And I must thank, I'm sure they are actually joining online. I must thank the DVC, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development Services, Professor Hayo Asenwa. I must also thank the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and Research, former Professor Familu, who was actually the working committee chair for the University of Lagos Business School. That was in 2018. Of course, I thank give honor to and glory to God and through the efforts of the current DVC, Academics and Research, Professor Obo, who is unavoidably absent. I've thanked our advisory board members again. I thank you so much for your support, and of course, Professor Ayo Ogunye. Thank you so much, sir. The man who, before I greet him, before I call him, I always have to go and learn one Ijebu or the other, because I know the next thing, Daddy, thank you so much, sir, for your support. Our advisory board, we can't thank you enough. Professor, I always call Professor Oladimiji Alo. Where are you, Professor, sir? You profess. Dr. Alo, sir, thank you so much. Dr. Alo, by the way, will be here from morning till evening with us. Because if you check the program, it's already, he's the one chairing the plenary section. With most of the, and Pastor Debrahimo, you are also staying till the evening. Thank you, sir. I've learned from my boss how to handle things now. So thank you. Thank you. Our academic board, I thank academic board members once more. You are very wonderful, giving tremendous support. I cannot think of a better academic board than the academic board of the University of Lagos Business School. And then my provost, where is my provost again? My provost, sir. That's my constituency. Thank you, sir, for coming. I just told you with little short notice. You said, you are supposed to be at a meeting today, I know, but you said you have given your word, and I won't leave you. Thank you for coming, sir. And then I think the college secretary is also somewhere around there. Thank you, sir, my neighbor. Professor Konlawa, I can't thank you enough. Stand up for recognition. So many people don't know you. He's my boss, so he looks so young, but he's my boss. This is the man who gave me PhD in anatomy, who trained me. In fact, he's the man who introduced me to university. He introduced me to Professor Shuku, 2006. When I came into the board of School of Postgraduate Studies, to the glory of the Almighty God, I'm probably one of the longest serving members of the School of Postgraduate Studies board through the effort of my boss, through Professor Shuku. And eventually, Professor Shuku introduced me to the Vice Chancellor now. Then it was DVC then. So it's actually a long journey. Thank you and God bless you. And another member of our advisory board, Professor Mojola, very quiet member of our advisory board. I'm looking at another member. Dr. Ipaye. Doctor, why, you know why it's very significant? Because we actually started using our place, that is Atom Banifo. But you have not lost money, you know. She has been praying that we should come back. And to the glory of God, Dr. Ifere wouldn't allow me. He said, the only place we can use for our DBA program, ED, it must be Atom Banifo. I said, God, Atom Banifo, that's money for them again. Because Dr. Ifere won't allow me to rest. So we are back again to Atom Banifo, but this time once in a month. It's better than not going at all. So I thank you. Please, coordinators of all our programs, rise up for recognition. Coordinator, Professor Solomon Akiboye, my boss. Humility personified. When I became the ED, I called my mom, who has been the Dean of Deans of School of Postgraduate. So I said, Mom, can you come and help me in the University of Lagos Business School as the chair of a committee, which I should pretend. He said, Abraham, with all pleasure, you have done so well with me when I was the Dean of Postgraduate School. May God bless you, sir. You know, humility. I wish we have more people like you in the University of Lagos Business. Coordinators, please sign up for recognition. Doctor, if I can't get coordinators, your program is about starting, so stand up. Your program is about starting. Yes. Deputy coordinator, you should rise up for recognition. Dr. Rahim. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. God bless you. I must also thank our did I call them no, I want to call them my tenant. No, I'm the tenant in their place. Our alumni. Landlord. Our landlord. Please rise up for recognition. They must be somewhere here. Yeah, the alumni. Thank you so much. Is Otuba here? Okay, good. Thank you. I'm sure the president of our alumni will come. Vice President, okay. Mr. Bala, thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you. And of course, our sponsors, we cannot thank you enough. They've contributed immensely to the success of not just this program, of the University of Lagos Business School. When we started, we were paying to Atom Bani for how much in a semester? So I should not, Auntie, I should. But thank God, Dr. Akito said, ED, you can't be paying this much. So I thank God we are not paying that much again. So thank you our sponsors, including Dr. Akintele, and other sponsors, Pinnacle, New Cross, and so many of them. Access Bank is Dr. Dera, which you cannot yet around. Thank you. I'm sure she's coming for the afternoon session. So the editorial board of our journal, thank you as well. The conference organizing committee, please rise up for recognition, all of you. Every member of the conference organizing committee. Everybody. Yes, everybody. These are men and women of different backgrounds. People who are coming also from the industry. One thing that has been the pivot, the fulcrum of the success of the University of Lagos Business School is the things that we have set up for ourselves. We have people from various backgrounds. I mean, Dr. Abiola is unavoidably absent. She's outside the country, otherwise she would have been here today. I mean, she's on, okay. Dr. Ojo is from the private sector. Dr. Alade Jebi is also from the private sector. So we have very few internal people working with us. So thank you. Dr. Mary Akinyemi, when I found you for the University of Lagos Business School, immediately the University of Lagos found you as well. So we found you. Thank you and God bless you. Doctor, my colleague in anatomy department, all of you have done very well. Thank you and God bless you. And our participants once more at DBA, I thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Because the school is yours. Without you, we don't have any school to call out. Rise up for recognition at DBA, MBA. Yes, rise up for recognition. The next conference, you should be the one taking care of it. The next ED, I will tell him that in the handover note, the participants will take care of it. You are clap for yourself for doing that. So, and of course, my admin staff once more, I thank you enough. Like I've said, we have given a template for the University of Lagos where admin and the academic staff can work seamlessly, effortlessly and making sure that we move our University of Lagos forward. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you everybody, the press, I know you are here, channels, TBC, you are all here, and all the Unilag, Covenant Child. Thank you. Please clap, round of applause for Unilag TV. Thank you all, and God bless you all. Of course, my beautiful wife, I thank you. My beautiful wife, Mrs. Oshino, thank you. Thank you, and God bless you. And the afternoon speakers that are here, raise up your hand for recognition once more. Dr. Kata, I've just seen you. Do you know this mask? Dr. Kata, please rise up for recognition. He's also one of our very senior colleagues in the private sector, who is also one of our classmates. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. When I saw Ronke, I knew my time was up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you still did not thank this Ronke, so I don't know this Ronke that you are thanking. It's now time for the pictures. I would please ask the indulgence of the people sitting on the A table to please come to this side so that we can take a good picture. Then this table will join them. And when they're done, they would leave the next table, and that's how we'll do it table by table so that we can stay all in here and take our pictures. Thank you very much.